Welcome to the Finance Marketing Podcast, a show that empowers finance professionals to market their businesses in ways that feel good and actually achieve results. I'm your host, Hillary. I've been working with folks in financial services to develop marketing strategies that work and create results-oriented marketing content since 2020. And I've learned a lot about what works in finance marketing, what doesn't work, and where financial services pros get stuck. Join us each Friday as we explore real, effective ways to market your finance business and connect with folks who truly embody your ideal clients. My guest today is Tracy Garcia, founder of TBG Investing and TBG Prosperity. Now, Tracy and I have been trying to coordinate schedules for months and months to make this conversation happen, so I'm thrilled that we finally did. With over 25 years of finance experience, Tracy has seen firsthand how unique challenges like longer life expectancy, caregiving responsibilities, and wage gaps affect women and their financial futures. She's on a mission to create a brighter future for women by helping them build and protect their wealth so they can have more financial security and ultimately live a life they love. Now, in this conversation with me, Tracy shares her journey from Northern Trust Bank to the wine industry and finally to launching her own women-focused practice. What I especially loved about our discussion was Tracy's insights on how to create an environment where women feel safe and excited to talk about money rather than intimidated or ashamed. She explains how sharing her own experiences, like taking a 6-month sabbatical to travel the world, has helped her attract clients who resonate with her approach to balancing enjoying life now while planning for the future. If you've been considering niching your practice but worry about excluding potential clients, or if you're looking for authentic ways to build trust with your niche, this episode is for you. Tracy offers a masterclass in how being genuine with your own experiences and values can help you build strong connections with the exact clients that you want to serve. So without further ado, let's dive in. All right, Tracy, thank you so much for joining me today on the Finance Marketing Podcast. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, Hillary. Super excited to be here.
I am too. Yes, this is going to be fun. So I would love if you would tell us a little bit about who you are. Tell us about your financial planning firm. Just give us kind of your background story.
Yep, you got it. So I am from Chicago originally and started my career at Northern Trust Bank. And I was really fortunate. I started off working with trust clients, so ultra wealthy clients. And then I was a finance major, really wanted to get into the finance world more. And so I joined the investment team and worked with really large 401k plans. And they would put our investment options in their 401k plans and did a lot of education around investing in 401k plans as well. So great experience. And then I did a major shift and I ended up doing corporate financial planning in the wine world in Napa Valley. And when I worked in that area, I was a lot of people were asking me about our 401k plan and how they could get more finance help. And long story short, I have come full circle and started my own business and helping people with their finances and investing. And it just feels so good to help people directly now. And there's just such a need for it. Money can be so taboo. And so I love just making it more comfortable and exciting and fun to talk about.
Yeah, I remember when you and I first met, you were kind of telling me about all these background experiences that you had working in various aspects of finance. And I just think it's really cool. You know, a lot of those things to outsiders probably feel like they're very different aspects of finance. But, you know, for you, they've all really kind of come together to lead you to the point where you're at right now.
And it's pretty wild because I'm actually really good at helping entrepreneurs too. So I help solo entrepreneurs, and I wouldn't have been as equipped to do that had I not done financial planning at a business before. So It really did come full circle. You never know where life is going to take you.
Right. It's so true. Well, I would love to dial in a little bit. So you have decided to start your own business. And I know from just kind of knowing who you are, you have this passion for working with women and helping women with their finances. So I would love for you to tell us a little bit about some of the decisions that led you into choosing a niche for your firm. Tell us a little bit about who your niche is and why you've chosen that niche.
Yeah, I'm really passionate about doing education as well. And so that was part of my business strategy and telling people I knew in my network. A lot of women came forward and said, I've been thinking about this for years. I need your help.
Mm,
And so it really naturally just happened that way. And then I realized as I was going more and more into the, specializing in women, the unique circumstances women have.
mm,
So women tend to live longer. So they really should be investing a little differently. Women take breaks for, you know, raising children or taking care of elderly parents. So the caregiving break in a career is real and affects our finances. And then we have women also get paid less in their careers, and that's still happening today. And so all of those combined really put women in a different situation and sphere in their finances. So I love being able to help them in a different way and
mm,
talking about it. And so a lot of women do not, and it's not even just women, money is so taboo for people to talk about. And so I just really encourage women to talk about money more. And when I worked on the investment team, it was this very competitive group. There were very few females. And
mm,
I learned a lot working in that group. And one thing was the men talked about money and investing all the time. But it wasn't just about our job, it was about finances. And so I got really comfortable in that environment. And so I really try to help other people feel the same. And
mm.
if we don't talk about it, we can't grow and improve. So,
Right. So when you are talking with other women about their finances and you've had these experiences that have helped you get more comfortable talking about money, how do you kind of help draw them into these conversations and help them feel more comfortable?
well, that is a good question. So, I have learned I talk about it first. You have to
Mm,
build the trust. So,
mhm,
whether it's in a one on one conversation and just making people feel safe, or I talked about it on LinkedIn all the time. And so I think it's scary for people at first, but then I think they're like, oh, it's not that scary. And
mm,
if you talk about money as it relates to goals, that
mhm,
can be really exciting. So
mm.
I try to bring out the fun of finances and the fun of planning, because if we don't plan for our future, think about our goals, we're never going to reach them, right? And
Yeah.
so money is such an integral part of that. So let's make it fun. And so that's a big part of what I like to do and working and talking with people.
And then just out of curiosity, do you also find yourself having to, I know that for a lot of people, and I'm maybe projecting here, but I'm wondering if women also maybe struggle with a lot of shame around money in certain circumstances. Do you find that do you have to navigate that as well?
Absolutely. And I hear from so many clients, I'm embarrassed. I feel stupid. It's a
Mhm.
foreign language. And so one person I work with is in the dental world. And I said to her, she said, I feel so stupid and I don't understand the terminology. And I said, well, do you expect me to know your terminology when I walk in the dentist office? You
Right.
don't. And so there's this high expectation people have of, that they should be an expert with their money or expert in finances. And I like to try to relieve that pressure. It's okay. We're all gifted in our own areas. We all have our, areas of expertise. And so let's work together. And I love educating too. I want people to feel really confident about their strategy, about what why they're investing in something or why we're doing something a certain way. So to me, it's a real partnership.
Well, I would love to, if we can kind of go back to, you chose this niche. You love working with women. It sounds like women love working with you. What are some of the things that you do to make connections with the women that you want to work with?
So there's a lot of different ways. So I told you I'm on LinkedIn often. So I love supporting other women in business. And
Mhm.
so, whatever they're doing, if they're at a corporation or they have their own business, so just being curious with what other people are doing and building those relationships, I think is really important. And then in general, I love to join women's groups or go to a women's event. And locally, I'm part of our chamber. And so just building relationships in various ways. I'm
Mm.
also part of a financial advisor network. And so just working with those people, I learn from them too about how to make it a better experience for the people I serve, and we all
Mm.
support each other. So I think it's just really powerful to have a lot of different approaches. And I think just being genuine with people and real and building that trust is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm assuming, you talked about LinkedIn. I'm assuming your LinkedIn headline makes it really clear that you work with women, right? Like little things like that, those signalers.
It absolutely is all over my LinkedIn page. And it's also another thing that I'm really passionate about is balancing the spending of your money now with retirement and enjoying life now. And so I
Mhm.
talk about that in my LinkedIn profile, but we had a lot of loss early in my life and my family, and I never met my mom's parents. I lost my cousin and an uncle when I was 17, and that changed my life and how I look at it. And so we never know what the future holds for us. And
Mm.
I feel like there's this old school way of like, I'm just going to save my money for retirement and live life then. Well, we just
Mhm.
don't know. And so it's so important. And just for our mental health, right? Like, let's live and enjoy life now too. And so
Right.
that's something I talk with clients about all the time. So we'll start looking at their money and they say, I'm going to go to Europe. Is that okay? Of course, go have fun. And so making those conversations safe and fun, like, let's go, let's do the things.
Right.
So, and some people, I've worked with a couple and he wanted to stay home to be with the kids. And we planned, can we do this? Will we be okay? And they're fine. And they're going to
Mm.
have that quality time with their kids and feel confident and good about it. So
Mhm.
there's so many avenues in how we look at our money.
Mm. I love that. And actually, that kind of leads me to another question. Your niche is working with women, and that's really quite a broad niche, right? I mean, there's
Right.
women in all walks of life. So, have you, as you've started to bring on more clients and started to identify more commonalities between those clients, have you found yourself kind of narrowing down that niche even further? Women who want to enjoy life today, but also not sacrifice the future. Are there any other commonalities that come to mind?
I would say the path less traveled a little bit, and
Mm.
knowing that I won't judge them for that, I think has
Mhm.
been a common theme. And when I quit my job in Chicago, I traveled the world for 6 months and
Mm.
I had planned for that for years.
Mhm.
And I didn't know when I would do it exactly, but I knew it was a goal of mine. And I didn't know if I could do it for 6 months or 2 months or 1 month. But anyway, I feel like a lot of people come to me and they say, "Oh, you can take a little sabbatical and life will be okay."
Mm.
And so
Mhm.
talking through that and planning for it, and then they feel good about any, I would say a decision that may not be in the norm of, working life or corporate world. So that has been kind of a big theme. And I
Mm.
also, like, I worked in wine. I did a career pivot for a little bit. Is that going to be okay? Am I going to kill my career if I make a change? I feel
Mm.
like there's so much opportunity out there, and let's just be really open minded. And as you plan your life, we'll plan your finances around it too. And I think
Mm.
that's really powerful.
I think so too. And I'm curious with the content that you put out there on LinkedIn and things like that, do you feel like that content includes some of that, or have you just kind of happenstance attracted clients like that?
I do talk about traveling quite a bit. I am
Mhm.
starting to talk about wine more because wine
Mm.
is just fun to talk about and a great way to connect, right? So I definitely put content out there that may not be quite the norm of
Right.
somebody who worked at a very conservative bank for 15 years.
Right.
But I also think, we only live once. Let's make this fun. And I'm all about just making finance fun and comfortable, and everyone should have a life outside of their work too. And
Mhm.
let's live a full life.
Well, it certainly sounds like you're reaping the rewards of going outside the norm a little bit.
It's very fun, and it's really fun to just be out there supporting each other on LinkedIn. That is so
Mm,
powerful with just working with clients nationwide. I've even been talking to people across the world, and that is such a cool opportunity for
mm,
anybody who owns their own business, or even people in the corporate world. We're all learning from each other, and that is a real game changer. And I think it changes how I'll be able to serve clients as well.
mm. Well, I know that a lot of financial planners that I've talked to who are thinking about niching have a lot of hesitations. There's always the fear that if I say I'm going to serve this subset of people, am I saying no to everybody else? Among other hesitations. Did you have any hesitations when you started your business about, choosing a target market, or were you kind of all in?
It definitely is a little scary at the beginning. And
Hmm.
I like helping everybody, right? Like,
Hmm.
I just want to help people get more money and be smart about their money. And so I would say it was a little bit of a journey for me. And I did talk to a lot of people before I officially put it out there. And I had several people say, do not, take away 50% of the population in
Hmm.
your business development. But I think it's really important to know your client really well. And
Hmm.
so the more specific, in my opinion, the better, because you can serve that demographic to the highest level, and make a real difference in their lives.
Mm-hmm. Do you still find, I mean, it sounds like you work with couples, so you still are working with men in
Yes,
that sense.
I have. So I have been approached by couples typically
Mm-hmm.
where the woman is really passionate about money and wants to learn more and wants to be in a partnership with her husband in planning their finances. And it's been really cool to see, because a lot of these men are say, I want my wife to be prepared. I do a lot of the finances. Or sometimes it's the woman doing a lot of the finances and wants her husband to be more equipped in what their future holds. So I think that being open,
Mm-hmm.
to the right situation and whoever you can help, I'm open to that too.
Absolutely. And I feel like there's so many of us out there today who are, married in couples or in partnerships. But as the women, we are the ones who are kind of finding the advisors too. So I think that's just a great space to be in.
Yeah, and another theme is I've done a lot of education, and I'll do women's groups or an employee session. And I did one women's session that was supposed to be an hour, and it was people I knew.
Mm.
And I thought, oh, we'll catch up after. We
Mhm.
talked for 5 hours about money.
Oh my
And
God.
and they all felt very safe because they've known each other a long time. And the stories that came out of that were just incredible. And so, one big theme that came out of that is one woman said, I was always taught to save, and my brothers were always taught to invest.
Mm.
And that is a theme I see over and over again. And so, just having the confidence to invest, because we do live longer and it makes a huge difference,
Mhm.
is really important. So I try to talk about that a lot too, is
Mm.
just in general, and making investing fun,
Mhm.
which it can be fun.
Right. Right.
Um, so there were many themes that came out of that, but that is a theme I keep seeing. And I think just getting women to invest more, which it is increasing. Fidelity did a study, and 71% of women are investing in 2024. So that's
Mm.
fantastic. And it was up from 60% in 2023. So we
Wow.
are moving in the right direction. And I think another powerful way for women to invest is investing in each other too. We
Mm.
have all these women starting their own businesses. I think it's 450 a day in the US and trillions of dollars. And supporting each other in those endeavors, because a lot of women are not feeling supported potentially in the corporate world. Maybe they have children, they need more flexibility. So you see all these women starting their own businesses. Let's support each other. And
Mhm.
I think that is a huge wave of the future for investing too, and can be really powerful.
Wow, those numbers from Fidelity are honestly so surprising.
Yeah, I was super excited to see it. And the best part is Gen Z leads the way. They're the
Wow.
highest percentage of women who are investing.
Wow. That is really exciting.
Yeah, so it was great to see. Yeah, so another trend that we are all seeing in this world a lot is that a lot of people are getting their advice from social media
Hmm.
and listening to random people out there. And I would just say, make sure you're vetting that person, make sure that they have the right background, the right expertise, because there are so many stories of people losing money with bad
Right.
advice. And so I think that is really important for people too. LinkedIn is a great resource. There are so many advisors out there giving free advice every day. Find your
Mhm.
favorite person, whoever resonates with you. And another great thing I'm seeing in the industry is that people are willing to uh, not have a minimum or have a lower minimum. So a lot of advisors typically wanted 1 million or more in assets.
Right.
And many advisors, I'm one of them. I am open to working with people who are early in their career, who are building their wealth. It's all about building wealth and protecting wealth, right? And so
Right.
that is, I think, a really cool thing to see in the industry that's been changing too. So help is out there for
Mhm.
everyone. It's just finding whoever's right for you.
Well, I totally agree. And I have to say, I think that's a smart business decision too, because if you find those clients early, right, even though they might not have a large net worth right now, they're going to grow and they're going to stay with you for the next 20, 30, 40 years as they grow, right? So they're going to become more valuable as clients too.
And to me, there's nothing better than seeing somebody's wealth grow and you help them do it.
Right.
And so that is super exciting to me.
Well, Tracy, do you have any maybe advice for anyone who is launching their own business, thinking about niching? Any advice of what to do or what not to do, even?
Oh, that is such a good question, Hillary. And I could talk about that for a while. But I think a lot of superstar, high achieving people are starting their own businesses and or are very gifted in what they do. And I think it's so important at the beginning to ask for help as much as you can, and in areas that especially you're not as good at.
Mm.
As a business owner, you are doing everything. And so, certain areas, I did sales before, I've done investing before, I've done estate planning, I've done all these things. I never did marketing before.
Mm.
So, that's where you are such value in our industry of being a marketing expert. And so, it is all about finding people that complement you, and the help is out there. And
Mhm.
so that I think is a huge piece of advice, because I think a lot of people have been so successful and at the beginning say, "Oh, I've got this," which is a good mindset to have, by the
Mhm.
way, that you're confident you're going to do well. But I also think it's just really important to ask for help, And I think talking to people is the best way. I think sometimes, I know I've done it, I'll read a lot of things. It's so much faster and easier to talk to someone, and
Yeah.
you can build a connection with them at the same time.
Oh, I love that advice. And I think that just to kind of add on to that, so many people too are willing to just get on the phone and chat with you, and no money has to be exchanged either, right? Like it is all about building those connections and just learning from each other. So I love that advice. Well, Tracy, thank you so much. If people are interested in learning more about you, where's the best place to find you?
So LinkedIn is a great spot. So Tracy Barron Garcia. And then my website is tbginvesting.com.
Excellent.
And so don't
Well,
be shy. I love hearing from people, and there's no pressure ever to work together. It's got to be right for you and a great relationship going forward. So
I love that. I'll link to all of that in the show notes. And thank you so much again, Tracy, for sharing everything that you did, kind of a peek behind the curtain of what it's like to niche in your firm.
thank you so much for having me, Hillary. Great to see you.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Finance Marketing Podcast. If you're eager to market your business in a way that feels good and actually gets results, sign up for the Finance Marketing Podcast newsletter in the show notes so you never miss another episode. If you liked what you heard today, please be sure to subscribe to the show on your favorite listening app and leave a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll see you back here next Friday.